players. In the upper right hand corner we have the blue zone player from mYinsanity. It's Reno. mYinsanity, as you can see here, they are right at the top of the table right now. They're currently sitting in third place of Group A. And, you know, they only got +4 map score, but they've won their first 2 matches. 4-3 against EC Visualize and 4-1 against Vega Squadron. And that's a big victory, actually, there for mYinsanity over Vega Squadron. Vega probably one of their biggest threats here this season in the SC2ITL. So, great to see them take them down without much of an issue. Let's talk about the other team. On the other side of the map, they're having a little bit more trouble at the start of this season, as they are sending out at the start of this Steelmaker, who is aka Slivko, as the red zerg in the lower left here on Overgrowth. And to start off, just to give you guys some stats on these guys, they haven't had the best of starts. They're on a -4 map score. They've lost both their opening matches against Followers of Extermination and against Skillforge. So that is the current status of these two teams, and that's this way. You know, these two teams come into this with very different mentalities. ErA Gaming are basically saying to themselves, damn, we have to win. You know, what are we going to do if we don't win? Like, we just have to, like, for our mentality, you know, just in general, like, if we lose, we're 0-3, we're already at the bottom of the table, we're going to fall even further. We have to win here today. And of course, mYinsanity aren't going to be wanting to think anything other than that they want to win as well. I mean, you know, they're the team who should be challenging for first place in the league, in the table. You know, they're the team who maybe didn't do it so well last season. They maybe sent out one too many academy players, and they got bested one too many times. And then, you know, they slipped up a little bit in the playoffs. But, you know, this season they seem to be taking it a lot more seriously, and they just seem to be nailing these teams down just game after game. And, well, we'll see what happens here. Reno will be the first player out for them. The very young Italian player. And intrigued to see how he will fare against his first opponent, who is Slivko, of course, a very kind of scary guy in real life, right? Shout out hello to me, and well, not really a shout, but a hello to McDelta in the chat. Go ErA Gaming. So we've got some cheers coming in. If you are watching in the chat, guys, do let us know who you want to see winning here today. As let's talk about the game a little bit. We're 4 minutes in. We haven't had really anything too amazing go on just yet. We had both players open with a pool, followed by a hatchery. We had gas on the way for both these guys also. I mean, the gas times are very similar for both players. The gas is ever so slightly faster for Reno, and ever so slightly, which means it's ever so slightly slower here for Slivko / Steelmaker. He's actually only mining for 2 workers on each gas as well. Okay, now he goes into 3. So, you know, he's getting his gas count up as well. Both of these guys are going to be heading into Zerglin speed to start the game off, to probably into some kind of Ling Bane mid game. How exactly it will go, we're yet to see. Speed starting up here for Reno, and just leave 3 workers in gas, so quite a quick Bane nest most likely to be on the way for him. There's a couple of Zerglins here for Steelmaker. Actually, I completely denied there. Or did they actually get into the main base? Oh, maybe they did. Excuse me, a little bit, being a little bit blind there. So a couple of Zerglins get some scout info for Steelmaker. I mean, Reno's going to look to do the same thing now as he begins to cross the map with a couple of Zerglins of his own. And Reno heading across here, looking to just try and get a little bit of information. But for 2 queens, I don't think Steelmaker's really going to let too much information be given here. But I think one Zerglin will manage to slip by nonetheless. However, maybe another queen, it will meet another queen, and it will just go down. So that Zerglin doesn't gain too much information here at all, as it looks as though both players skipping the Bane nests, going straight into Rotorons and Evolution Chambers. Steelmaker going for that Rotoron double Evo, and on the other side of the map, he's actually already got a lair on the way as well, compared to his opponent, who's actually opening with a Carapace. So +1 Carapace on the way for Reno. So these guys are actually opening very differently. I said they're both going into Roaches, but I was getting myself mixed up in the colours. It isn't Roaches at all here for Reno. He's opening with Carapace, which will give his Lings a lot of longevity in any kind of early trades. He will fall behind in, you know, attack upgrades, and I'm intrigued to see where he goes in the mid game. Whether he's going to try and play a Ling heavy style, or if he will just himself transition into Roaches and, you know, go for that +1 missiles in his own time. I mean, he's behind on his lair timing, so it'll be much longer until he's able to get Roach speed up, for example. There's that lair starting up here for Reno, as he is going to take a 3rd base. So he's going to try and take a 3rd base and force cancels on his opponent's 3rd base for as long as he can, basically. This drone gets pulled away by Steelmaker as he sees that these Lings are coming across the map and looking for denial. And Reno just moving over to this 3rd and just checking that is not already there. First few roaches on the way out here for Steelmaker, as we see the evolution chamber, second evolution chamber coming down for Reno, so he will start his own +1 missiles without too much of a hesitation, I guess, in the end. And there's the roach one coming down as well, so he's not really going to commit to these lings all too much. It's just kind of this initial little phase here with these first group of Zerglings, and we'll see what exactly these guys are going to try and get up to. Again, just denying that third base for now, and again, it's Reno. He's just trying, take advantage of this. Steelmaker getting a little bit of a scout off himself here with this Overseer. He's already seen third base on the way up. He's been into the main. He's seen the timing of the roach run, so he knows he'll probably have his timing advantage in terms of roach speed. And now he's going to move out onto his third base, which is about to be made here by this little drone. So Steelmaker slowly makes his way out here, and he will get his third base up and running very, very shortly. Reno actually just exiting over to the right-hand side and coming up this side of the map right now. So yeah, Steelmaker actually has his roaches here still. These lings aren't going to be able to be too successful. They might catch this. They might actually get a cancel here because the roaches just aren't quite in position. With roach speed, they will get back here very quickly. Oh, I don't think they will quite get the cancel, but I mean, it was very good. Oh, he will cancel it. I think that's a mistake. I don't think he needed to do that there, as he transuses the drone to keep it alive. Roaches are coming across the map here, so Steelmaker, he's going for a little bit of a timing attack with his +1. He's got roach speed as well, and he will actually pick off one roach there. He's actually going to start targeting down this roach roaring. A couple of changelings dropping down. This roach roaring taking a little bit more damage once again. If that roach roaring dies, that's going to be absolutely detrimental to Reno's game here. And as the Queen going to come in and help, reinforcements coming in as well right now. There's just so many roaches at the moment though for Steelmaker. He doesn't have quite as many drones, but of course his goal is to just catch up on the drones in the long run here while he's doing this damage, and he takes down the roach roaring. And this is actually looking really bad for Reno. That he might have a third base, but what good's a third base if you're not going to live long enough to make use of it? And these roaches are going to end up coming up this main base ramp and cleaning out pretty much just everything else here. This hatchery on the low ground will fall, and I mean, this is not enough roaches for Reno. What he was trying to do was kind of cute, but he just wasn't quite prepared in time to deal with these roaches of Steelmaker. Maybe if he hadn't droned up so heavily, maybe he would have had a few more roaches. Maybe he would have been able to hold on here. But yeah, unfortunately, as it stands, he will just be overrun here. And Splitgo, aka Steelmaker, will take game number 1 for New ErA Gaming, and this will be a start which they were wanting to see. GG called, in game 1 going the way of New ErA Gaming. The team who are probably coming into this as the least favourites. And it'll be intriguing to see how they go on in this match, guys. We're going to go into a quick little break here. I'm going to go grab myself a drink and get set to go on into game number 2, which will be on the way very shortly, as we're waiting for the next player from mYinsanity to be picked and set up, and the map to be picked so we can set it up and get ready to go. Hello Guildhall, how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And his map pick after his teammate Reno lost in game number 1. We'll be looking for a little bit of revenge here. It is the Swiss player Zervas. And in the 9 o'clock position on Catalina, the red Zerg player from New ErA Gaming taking game number 1 with just an overwhelming number of roaches. It's going to be Steelmaker here for New ErA Gaming. The opponents of mYinsanity today. Whoops, actually didn't put their little overlay on. There you go, we'll get a little bit of info about New ErA Gaming. This time, again, pool into hatchery for both of these guys. Mirrored builds, just as that last game started out as well. So, yeah, kind of interesting. New ErA Gaming against mYinsanity this week, against ESC next week. They have a really tough couple of weeks ahead of them. I mean, mYinsanity, ESC. The week after they play Carnage Esports, who have been on a roll lately as well. They're 2-0 in the team league so far this season. Alternate the week after, who are always going to be a little bit dangerous also. So I mean, New ErA Gaming have some tough matches ahead, and it's going to be so important for them to try and get a good result here tonight against mYinsanity. Steelmaker, he does manage to see this extractor on the way up, and as all these drones just mining away on these minerals, we see a natural hatchery coming down on the low ground here. So things just starting to get set up. People, both players just starting to get ready to go in this game. Overlord continuing to just move out the main base here from Zervas. He didn't actually get the spot on the gas here, so possibly because it's a slightly later gas. So Steelmaker, he again seems to be a little bit behind in his gas timing, but this just seems to be something he it just seems to be something that he seems to do a little bit later than other players. I mean, against Reno he took his gas slightly later, against Zervas now and he's taking his gas ever so slightly later here. So Steelmaker just gonna get set up on these two bases, just the same as Zervas is doing, and we're basically just gonna watch to see what happens after 100 gas comes. And we've on 100 gas right now for Zervas. He shows no intention of pulling the drones out of here. And if he doesn't intend on pulling them drones out, then we're again very likely to see either some fast upgrades, maybe a Baneling nest as well. Steelmaker just reaching his own 100 gas here, and as a couple of Zerglings or single Zergling gets picked off, it looks as though we're just going to see him stick in that gas as well. So both these guys just going into their Zergling speed, and a Baneling nest now on the way for Zervas. So he could go into a little bit of Ling Bane pressure, or he could just be looking to use this defensively here. As you know, we're also still basically just waiting for Steelmaker to make his own decision. He actually cancels Zergling speed here, which is interesting because he hasn't decided to do anything else with his gas just yet. Maybe he starts a lair, and in fact, as I say that, a lair does start up in the main base. Steelmaker changing his mind about what exactly he wants to do here. Now, he hasn't really seen anything to suggest, why he would be doing this instead. So he's just decided that this is how he wants to play this out. He's actually going to go for a Rotron here straight away. We do have some Lings on the way. I guess we do have a wall-off now here for Steelmaker as well. It's not a complete wall-off just yet, but it's well on the way to being that as he continues to drone up. But a lot of Lings on the way for Zervas, and this could be this kind of aggression could be exactly what he needs to maybe push through and punish Slivko for taking too quick of a leg, for just droning a little bit too hard, for trying to just skip straight into roaches. Zergling speed is finished, and Zervas just going to wait for a few more Zerglings to pop out before heading across the map here. And Slivko will see this pretty instantly. He's only going to have money for 5 roaches to begin with. And these Zerglings are going to start crossing the map. A couple of Lings do get in here for Steelmaker. Zervas just peels a couple of Lings away to deal with that. He's coming across here now. Another Evolution Chamber going to be added on, which will add a lot to this wall-off. Will make it a lot more hard. Will make it a lot harder to break through. Baneling's on the way. A lot of Baneling's on the way. In fact, he comes up here. He sees what there is, and he's just going to start working his way down on this Evolution Chamber. More Lings are coming across the map at all times here, and we're going to see these Banelings looking to just burst through. As I kind of wonder if he's made too many Banelings, because surely there's a point here in which the Banelings just become unusable, and you need Zerglings to kind of follow up. Because right now, what does Zervas have to follow up with? Just a handful of Lings. He's busted through here very well. He doesn't kill the Rotron, and he cancels the upgrades, but he doesn't stop the Rotron from, continuing to be there, which allows him to just keep on producing roaches. There's a lot of roaches already out, and it looks as though there's just going to be a lot more on the way until that Rotron falls. Spinecrawler is still up at the front. Blink's cleaned out in the main base without too much of an issue, and Zervas just going to have to wait a couple of moments here before going for round 2. And, his work count's kind of okay, but a lot of roaches out for Steelmaker, and that is going to be the more favourable kind of composition here. Third base coming up for Zervas as well. A couple of teamers killed off. Too many roaches up on the high ground here. And I wonder if Zervas just tries to, make some more Banes, or whether he's just going to tech up. I think, considering he's got Lair and Rotron on the way back at home, he is just going to try and tech up into roaches of his own here to try and see what he can make happen. Not really all too much to say other than this. I mean, Steelmaker just going to come down here with a drone, and okay, he's actually just going to remake an Evolution Chamber, so I kind of thought he might be looking to take a third base, which of course Zervas is going to be on top of. That's one thing he's got in this game right now, mobility. He's got the mobility to counterattack, he's got the mobility to wrap around his opponent should he try and get too aggressive, and he's got the ability to take a third base much faster than his opponent. So them Zerglings with the speed, they do have their advantages, but he will be looking to being about half an upgrade behind, maybe even half an upgrade plus a little bit more, because the second Evo Chamber is up for Steelmaker. A couple of transfuses coming down there. Some things actually do slip around the side, so this isn't actually a complete wall off. And these will try and get into the main base. He's trying to do this because we have roaches on the way across the map, and Zervas, he's going to have to pull off a little bit of a miracle to really make this hold, because there's so many roaches here for Steelmaker that they're just going to keep coming forward. And actually Zervas just types out GG. I mean, simply enough, his Zerglings were not going to do enough counterattack damage, and if the Zerglings don't do enough counterattack damage, he can't really stay in this game too much longer. And very quickly here in this series, we see mYinsanity fall 0-2 down. Not the first time they've been in a little spot of trouble here in the SC2ITL. We'll see here very shortly who they're going to send out as the next player. I guess we can actually take a couple of moments, because it looks as though the next player is AFK. So we're going to take a couple of moments, guys. So we'll go into game number 3 when we come back, and when we're back again, game 3 of mYinsanity versus New Era Gaming. mYinsanity need to start trying mYinsanity. Maybe it's a strong day for New Era Gaming. Maybe mYinsanity are about to make a comeback here with Kane, the pink Zerg player, who's starting in the upper right-hand corner here for mYinsanity. In the south position, it is going to be the red Zerg player from New Era Gaming. It's Steelmaker. We've seen 2 very fast CVZs so far, neither of them really taking all too long to, pretty much be decided. So interested to see if this one's going to be any longer here, whether Kane will be a little bit more of a match for Steelmaker than his other 2 opponents have been up until now. And I mean, it's been kind of unfortunate, because both times it seems the mYinsanity players, they've had ideas of what they wanted to do, but they just very simply either didn't do enough with their plan and then died to the counter. Well, yeah, it was very simply just that. Neither of them did enough with what they tried to do. First of all, Reno, he didn't do enough with them initial Zerglings, and Steelmaker made a bunch of roaches and counterattacked. Boom. He wins the game. Zervas, he tries to go for a little bit of a Lingbane aggression. He tries to bust through the front door. He kind of busts through the front door. He doesn't have much to follow it up with, however. And from there, Steelmaker just counterattacks and wins the game with too many roaches. So they've been very simple games so far, as we head into this 3rd game now, and intrigued to see how Kane is going to choose to open already here. We've got differences on either side of the map from what we've been seeing. We've got hatchery first from both players. Until now, we've actually just seen pool first from all the Zergs in the ZVZs so far. So straight away here, merry-go-round players changing this up, and Kane even more so changing it up. He goes for a gas before his pool, whereas Steelmaker, he just opts for a couple more drones, and with a couple more drones, he then takes his pool. And no gas right now, so it could just be a gas opening, could just be that delayed gas, which we've seen from him multiple times already this evening now. Twice he's gone for a slightly later gas than his opponent, and of course Kane's gas here, it's much faster, just because it's gas before pool. So he's going to be looking to start up speed as soon as this Zergling, as this one pool finishes. Slivko here gets into this main base, and he sees that gas, and he'll know the timing of the gas. He will have clicked on it, he will see how much is mined, and he'll know, right, well, that was a gas before pool. I know the kind of timings you can hit me with from here, and he basically he knows what's up. So Steelmaker just gonna move away with this Overlord, get away before the Queens start to pop out, and he's gonna be pretty aware of what's going on here throughout this game. He's just started to mine his own gas here. So again, I'm kind of intrigued. Last game he decided not to even go for Zergling speed. He just went straight into his into his roaches. Maybe he does the same again here. He's actually starts a Baneling nest. Okay, well, this is a very interesting way to go about things. So he's basically saying, in case you try to link flood me or just try and kill me with a ton of Zerglings, which is a very popular build when you go hatch gas pool, because you get a very good economy, you get the 2 bases, you get the Queens out, and then you have a lot of Lings and speed very quick to hit with. So he's just saying, to be able to hold that off, I'm just going to get my Baneling nest down, and with my Baneling nest, I can blow up any Zerglings that can run in here, instead of just trying to match your Zergling numbers, which can be a lot harder. So right now, Steelmaker gets the Baneling nest on the way, and that will be up here very soon. And again, it's just kind of a safety thing. He does have his own Zergling speed now starting as well. As Kane is making a few Zerglings, but he's also taking a 3rd base, so he's just actually playing a very greedy game himself, and he's actually kind of won the mind game wars at the start of this. Slivko was prepared for a very aggressive opening from Kane, where in fact is actually very I guess it is kind of aggressive still. He's making a lot of Zerglings right now, but he's got this 3rd base to fall back on, so it's maybe not quite as aggressive as Slivko was originally thinking. I mean, this is still a fair amount of Zerglings, though. He is moving across the map with this. I'm intrigued. How much is he going to commit to this? Is he going to make a lot more Zerglings? He is going to start drawing up now, so he's just going to draw up entirely behind this. As he runs the first 2 Zerglings, and he sees the Banelings. Oh, I don't think he was really quite expecting that there. Now he'll run in again with the next round of Lings, and that Baneling actually goes off without doing anything. So this is the kind of problem now. More Zerglings will actually just stream on in here, and the Banelings are pretty much all used up. This Queen in the main base looking as though it may go down. It looks as though one Baneling got a couple of Lings here on their way, and this Queen actually survives for now. These Lings come in, they wrap around a couple of Lings, they get a drone kill. Oh, not quite the drone. Going for the drone in there, they get it here. This Queen's still on pretty low hit points. Behind this again, Kane's just been drawn. He's taking a worker lead in this time. He started up his own Baneling nest. He knows the possibility of a counterattack here from Slivko. He knows, right, I've thrown away a lot of my Zerglings. You got Baneling nest, you've got Zerglings of your own, you can counterattack. So he kind of knows, I need a Baneling nest just to go on here. And that is what he has on the way. Baneliness is about to finish up here. And a lot more Zerglings as well to deal with this kind of counter-attack, which is just basically inevitable. You know, you've got these Zerglings, why not use them? So this counter-attack coming across the map, Kane hasn't really had an opportunity to morph in Banelins just yet. But he will begin to do that now, and that's just as the Banelins here do start for Slivko as well. So it's actually fairly even, and Kane with a few more Zerglings will come out to greet this here. One Banelin goes off for Slivko, but Kane actually done a great job, and now he'll actually counterattack here. He'll split up the Banelins and put them into this kind of awkward scenario where, you know, what are they actually going to end up doing here? They're just going to run home and die to a couple of Zerglings at a time. So now Steelmaker has to make another round of Zerglings, and he might lose his third base here. Kane does have that his own third base up. So he does have a slight advantage now. It's not really going to make much of a difference in the game right now. Banelins going down on a couple of different things up here. A few Banelins coming in at the same time here for, oh, Kane! And with that, he takes a huge hit. Slivko does to his Zergling count, and oh, Kane's playing with fire though. He's dancing around these Banelins really hard to make sure he's trying to do it right, and well, a couple of Banelins going off, and Zerglings and Banelins going to actually come into the main base here to try and help defend as Kane is in here. He's going to try to get that queen, but nice hold position microbite on them drones will help him out. He keeps his queen alive right now. We've had not really too much going on in the natural, but oh, the last Banelin may go down. No, it looks as though it's going to be safe. These Zerglings still alive as well. Overall, there's a 4-worker lead for Kane in this game, but he has a little bit of an army advantage too. Going into his lair, Rotron and Evolution Chamber also looking as though he's going to come out with the upper hand in terms of tech, as we have a quick pause in the game. So, got a quick second here as Slivko just asks for a pause. If guys are interested in the bracket, basically right now, the first division I updated on Sunday night. So the first division on Liquipedia should be completely up to date. It should only be the second and third divisions which aren't up to date, and any matches which are blank in the first division is simply because they've just been postponed or they haven't been played yet, or they may have been played but they weren't played by Sunday night. So it's a lot more up to date than it maybe looks. As we do now see Kane continuing his aggression here. These guys haven't paused. And a lot more Lings continue to come across the map again. Kane is ready to go into Roaches behind us. He leaves a few Zerglings behind here to start doing some mineral line damage. A couple of Lings for Bane in there. Really nice little bit of control to start trading that. As these Banes actually happen to fall all the way back. A couple of Roaches pop out for Slivko, but not going to be enough. They get surrounded in a second here. And this Bane is going to come into this third. They're going to try and help save it, but it's not going to be in time. And these Lings get the kill on this, and Kane is just taking complete control of this game. He's now going into mass roach production himself. His +1's halfway done, his glide reconstitution's halfway done, so he's going to go into roaches too, but he's going to have the upgrades to go with them, and with them upgrades, I mean, it's just going to be game changing here. It's going to be what he's going to do to the Slivko, what Slivko did to the previous two players, Reno and Zervas. He's going to march across the map with just too many roaches and just make him look like a little bit of a fool, because he just won't have enough. And he's just played this early game, the early mid game, so beautifully. He's traded so well. He's been taking the better fights at all times, and while he didn't actually ever really kill that many drones, it's never really been a matter of economy. He simply just traded better with the units he has and with the units that Slivko has had. So he does lose a queen here, and that's possibly the first good thing which is really happening here for Slivko in this game. He gets a drone kill as well. Some Zergling's going to chase down. Have to be very careful of them Banelins. The roaches are starting to pop out too. Roach speed finished, and actually that might just be the timing where Kane decides to come across the map. Can Slivko hold on? Not looking too great for him, because he's got 5-6 overlords on the way, and he is currently supply blocked. So that's kind of 600 minerals he'd rather have spent earlier and be making him as roaches now. So he just gets out of his supply block, but I mean, he's got a Spine Crawler, he's got some Banelins, so Banelins could get some good hits even on the roaches. If they can get right in the middle here and get some good splash, they can definitely help out quite a bit. But the third base, I don't know if he can hold this. I think he needs to fight by his Spine Crawler, so I think he's right to just cancel that. and wait for another day. Maybe wait to spread his creep over here so he can get his Spinecrawler in range to help out. Thing is though, Kane's just going to see everything. As soon as he sees, you know, this third base taken again, he's probably just going to come back across the map and go for another attack. +2, +1 on the way from these evolution chambers. His Overlords on going for a bit of a migration. And they're going to migrate to the summery lands of the Rotron. And Kane just being defensive on his own side of the map right now, just waiting. He knows, you know, he doesn't really need to attack until this third base is a bit closer to finishing. I mean, he doesn't really need to attack at all. He's been on free base for so long. He could just wait for his 2-1 to finish. He probably knows as well that his upgrades are very far ahead as well. If he didn't click on the roaches before when this Overseer comes in, he probably will be able to click on one of these roaches to see what are the upgrades for my opponent, you know, what is up. He's actually clicking on that hatchery, so it looks as though he's just going to try and come in and kill this here. As the Ling is already starting to lead the way just a little bit, coming in from behind with a lot of roaches as well. He's going to have way too much over here. Steelmaker is going to try and come in from the left and try and even this up. A couple of Baners will connect as well. But at the moment, it looks as though Kane just has way too much of the concave, way too many roaches, and just too much of everything. The upgrades will come into that as well. And Kane takes game number 3 and puts mYinsanity onto the scoreboard, guys. As, you know, finally, mYinsanity shows the kind of game we were kind of expecting to see from them. Finally taking the map and, again, probably relieving themselves just a little bit. I mean, what kind of trouble are you in if you go 0-3 down? You know, even your best player fighting back from 0-3 down, even if it's Jachi, even if it's Stardust, all it takes is one slight mistake. They don't scout a cheese, they don't scout a proxy, and boom, dead, done for, clan war lost. And you know, it's a scary proposition. So we're going to be going into game number 4 here in a few moments time, guys. Quick commercial break and we'll be back very soon. Hello JT2128 in the chat. When do SC2 and E-Star play? They play in 1.5 hours from now, or 1 hour and 40 minutes from now. That will be when the Spanish team takes on Red Bloods. So guys, I'm going to go into a quick commercial break. When we're back, game 4. Going into game number 4 here in a few moments time. We're literally just waiting for the players to accept their invites into the lobby. It will be Kane versus Dra. And what looks as though it might be another ZVZ here, unfortunately. We'll be finding out here in just a moment. I'm actually just going to try and find out where he's gone. Has he DC'd? Has he DC'd? It doesn't look as though he's online. No, it looks as though he's just connecting to the lobby. So, he'll be here soon. He's got a Zerglin portrait. Is he a Zerg player? Yes, he is. So, another ZVZ. Yeah! Who loves ZVZ, guys? In the chat, let us know if you love some ZVZ. Kane from mYinsanity here with the opportunity to even up this series. Put things level pegging 2-2, set to go into game 5 and maybe take the lead for the first time in the series. ErA Gaming, though, they want to go into game 5 and they want game 5 to be their opportunity to close this out. They want to take this onto match point right now. They had that early advantage, now they've lost Slivko. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can keep their advantage or if they're going to let it slip into an equal position here. As again, this 4th game will be on the way in just a couple of moments time. Just waiting for Dra to join. So it says he's joining. Just seeing if he needs to relog or anything like that. And I guess we'll find out very soon. So here, this guy has got a host right now, so I'm going to just switch the lobbies. It's going to be a couple extra seconds here. And we should be able to go into this in a couple of moments time. In Canada we trust as Scooter, mYin manager of Gates Canada from NKR SC2. Who else is alive in the chat, guys? Who else is alive in the chat? Do let us know. Where I'm currently waiting to just get into this next game. Looks like the Dra is having some issues. Okay, looks as though he is. now he tries to host on Habitation Station. Cast is so biased against ZVZ. You know, I don't mind some ZVZ. Just when you see 4 ZVZs in a row, if you see any matchup 4 times in a row in a clan war where you quite often you know, change a lot, then you know, it can get a little bit dull. You know, sometimes it's nice to see a change of matchups, especially in these clan wars. I think it's great. I think the clan war format is a great way to see a lot of different, you know, a lot of different matchups in quick succession, etc, etc, etc. You know, I can talk shit all day, but you guys know, seriously, we just don't want to see ZVZ, right? I get it. Apparently I am host, so we can invite these guys to the game and get this started up here. So we've got everyone in, and we're going to ask our players if they are ready to go into this 4th game. Draw is ready, and so is Kane, so we're just waiting for Scooter to accept his invite, and if Scooter accepts his invite, we can go into this 4th game on King Sage on Station. Excuse me, King Sage on Station. J-Power, I hate ZVZ. Z versus Z equals Z McDelta. And ZVZ sucks, wow. Some strong feelings for ZVZ here. We're loading up into this game. I would like to point out, very interestingly, Draw's name has, if you rearrange the D, put the D at the back, you actually get Ward, which is a little bit like Wardy, because that's where Wardy comes from. My last name is Ward. So, just saying, this guy, me and him, we seem to have a couple of connections in the name side of life. But I guess realistically, though, that means absolutely nothing as we get into this game and finally get an opportunity to introduce our players. On the lower right-hand side of King Sejong Station, the red Zerg player from New ErA Gaming. Let's draw. In the upper left, we have from mYinsanity, everyone's favourite Canadian Zerg. Well, maybe not, I guess, with Scarlet. And you know what? A lot of the Canadian players are Zerg, right? I mean, I guess there's Hook who's Protoss, and Desra who's Protoss, and Massa who's Terran. But a lot of the Zerg players and a lot of the Canadian players do seem to be Zerg. And now you're all probably going to correct me if like 102 players I missed out as well. But anyways, in the upper left hand corner, it is Kane from mYinsanity. Now, mYinsanity actually entering probably an easier couple of weeks here in the league. They go up against Skillforge next week. You know, Skillforge strong, but compared to mYinsanity, I would say mYinsanity should probably be very favoured there. Followers of Extermination the week after. I mean, they're a team who came up from the 2nd division in Season 2. You know, they're not much of a threat here, and ESC Gaming in week 6. Now that is where the real threat may come for mYinsanity in the near future. So we'll be keeping an eye on you know, how they do, of course, throughout the league. Again, this is just week 3, 11 weeks of group play to come for you guys, and of course we're bringing you guys as many matches as we can each and every week. I mean, this is my 2nd day in a row casting. You know, in the first week or something, we casted like every day. And then I went easy. I actually went away for the weekend, and then I came back and moved to uni yesterday, and then we did StarTale vs the Rava Capsule last night, and now today we're here with a couple of some series at MY vs ErA and Red Bloods against APSC2 Star. So yeah, quite exciting today. I've had quite an exciting day. I just moved back to uni for my final year. Nothing really too exciting here, guys. Just hatchery first into pool first into hatchery. So in a new room, new internet, etc, etc. I went out today, went to IKEA, had some Swedish meatballs, always good. But most importantly, got a TV stand so I can put my PS4 on it and play PS4 when I'm going to bed. Because everyone knows that's the important thing, well, apart from when you're playing StarCraft. But yeah, it was kind of annoying me because I had nowhere to put my TV, and I was like, well, what do I do now? So I just went and got a TV stand. Oh, I'm not. If you add a T and a CK to Wardy, you get Water Dick. But the thing is, I didn't add anything to Draw's name. He does have actually 6 seconds coming across here, but Kane with 6 seconds on the way out of his own, he's going to be fine against this. So yeah, these seconds come in and should get turned around pretty quickly. Kane actually taking a bit of a better position to fight, and One Zerglin for one Zerglin so far. Kane a hit up as well, and he will get the better initial start to this fight as well. So these Zerglins get turned away. Not too much action here altogether. So, draw, just going to fall back. So yeah, I didn't add any letters to draw. I didn't add any letters to draw, so it's a little bit different, you know. It's a little bit different. So yeah. Anyways, these seconds make their way back home. Kane is back here and set to go. And what's actually happening in this game? We have a couple of extra gases being taken by Kane. It's actually his first 2 gases, so he skipped Zerglin speed at the start of this, and in fact so is his opponent. He's going into an Evo chamber now. A couple of Evo chambers, probably the Roach one too. Yet to see any gases from him just yet though. So he is still getting them down. I mean, 6 minutes-ish isn't exactly late. Both of these guys just with the gasless openings here, and we'll turn this into a you know, very heavy Roach play in the early parts of the mid game. Basically just skipping the Ling Bane stages of this game, both of them. And both will probably go for fairly quick third bases, knowing their opponents can't deny it, because there's no Zerglin speed. Kane with a nice little pick off of an Overlord here, and continue to move forward with these queens, really looking for any other Overlords that can be picked off. As Kane just now going to start his Evo chambers. I mean, these Evo chambers were a bit preemptive, right? Because he doesn't have any gas to start upgrades yet. He doesn't have, you know, he's got no gas to do anything with just yet. So it was a little bit preemptive, I feel. Kane just starting up his lair, now adds his Evo chamber and Rotron, just a single Evo chamber. Slight differences here, as both players are, in fact, just Kane right now, going to move over to take his third, but not going to see anything of that just yet from Droir. Who did StarTale lose to? StarTale lost to, who did StarTale lose to? Gravity. Lost to Gravity 4-3. It was a little bit unfortunate. They picked a player at kind of a little bit of a bad time for them, and it was a little bit last minute, and then the series went on forever, so they didn't actually have a 4th player awake to play, so it went to 3-3 and then they had to forfeit Game 7. But it was a great series by Gravity. It was a really entertaining series. I was going to cast the games from replays, but I don't know if I'm going to get a chance, because it just seems, because generally my plan is to cast games from replays at the early start stages of the week after, because people never manage to, you know, people don't ever actually, you know, how do you say it? People never organise their clan wars right at the start of the week unless they're very prepared, usually. But this week they have, so we've had actually matches to cast. So, anyways, a couple of queens moving out here as the creep spread continues to move around. This third base is going to finish up for Kane. We have had a third base coming up for Droir as well. It's just a little bit behind. So is his Roach speed. So is his +1 missiles. He does hold a free worker lead, and you know, it's basically just because he had that gas a little bit later. He will start his +1 carapace here very soon as well. But Kane already starting to make some Roaches here, and looking as though he's just going to start moving across the map. I mean, with Roach speed on the way, his +1 will finish soon. He could definitely try and make a bit of a timing out of this, and honestly, Droir will have to really rely on that defender's advantage to be able to hold on, because, you know, does he have a spine crawler up? I guess he... No, he doesn't. Okay, yes, he does over at the third base. So I think with a spine crawler, the fact his queens can join the fight as well, he should be okay here. I feel he should be able to hold on. As long as he takes a good concave, picks a good fight, he should be alright. Kane with these queens looking to try and chase down an Overseer. He shouldn't get this, but it's going to be close. Going to keep chasing it. Just going to get away as these Roaches have made it all the way over to the other side of the map. And, well, let's see what's going to happen as he tries to come in here. His +1 has finished. His Roach speed finished too. Pretty decent concave setup here for Droir, and Kane's just going to say, well, we're going to actually fight over here. So all the Roaches not quite in position just yet for Droir, but they get here pretty quickly. All the Roaches will either play a fight. In fact, Droir getting a little bit stuck in the back here because he's in this choke point. And Kane now actually kind of away from the spine crawler. I think Droir, yes, he needs to pull back. He needs to rely on that spine crawler for that little bit of extra DPS here. You know, that is his advantage. So he needs to make sure to use it, and he does use it, and keeps Kane away. He actually gives chase right now, and I don't think Kane's going to be all too worried about that. I think he would happily turn around and fight this still. As, ooh, Contaminate comes down. That's actually going to pause that +1 missile attack. +1 carapace not using not starting until just now as well, so Kane just trying to delay the upgrades. This will give him a lot longer timing when +2 is finished for him, and +2 will still be building for his opponents, so we'll have a lot more time to play with basically later in the game. It doesn't really affect anything just yet. But again, later on it probably will as he transfuses up a few of these Roaches using that energy on the queens. Just bring his Roaches up to full health. And, you know, he's all set. He's all ready to go again if he would like to, but I don't think he will for another minute or so until that +2 missile attack is a little bit closer to being finished here. So, Draw just going to sit on the edge of this creep right now as he's slowly getting his third base up and running. I mean, Kane, you look at this third base, you see, right, this has been running for a while. 100 gas mine, you know, these minerals, about 100 or so mined there from each of them. Over here, Draw's only just getting his gas, you know, 1480, 1400. He's only just getting his third base going, so he's really not seen any benefits from this just yet. So again, this earlier third base for Kane has really started to pay off. He's had a few more drones as well, and that's helped him to saturate that base and get some use out of it a little bit sooner than his opponent has. So these roaches moving across the map, and we'll see what they're going to try and do. It looks as though they're going to try and come into this right-hand side. Draw with his map control will be able to see this, and he actually has on a couple of spine cores to be able to hold on this high ground. +2 on the way for Kane. It's 25 seconds from finishing, so it's going to be here very soon as these roaches start to hit on these rocks. We'll take it down very quickly. He's thinking about going up there, but he decides not to, and again, it's right for him not to. He doesn't want to run into a concave like this, but it gives him the opportunity now to maybe send just a handful of roaches around that side later in this game, maybe just like 4 to 5 roaches and sneak them through into the base. But with 3 spine crawlers here, again, Draw should be able to negate that fairly easily himself. As Kane actually going to come forward here, things start taking a fight. Again, concaves are important, and Draw will have the better concave on the bottom, but Kane's just going to move command into it, and now he steps forward towards these roaches. And, well, Draw's attacking from either side, but his roaches seem to be replenishing very, very quickly. This upgrade lead that Kane has right now, 2-1 against 1-1. Is really going to be helping him out, as well as the fact he had just a few extra roaches from a little bit of a better economy through the game, and he just can't stand the roach run. Why not? He can afford a couple of free shots, and he takes them, and boom, Kane takes game number 4 to even up this series 2-2 right now in this best of 7 all kill between mYinsanity and New Era Gaming. Guys, we're going to be back here in a few moments with game 5, as we're going to go into see who New Era Gaming decide to send out next. Remaining maps are Foxtrot Labs, Deadwing, and Nimbus. So we'll see what the map pick will be. We'll see who the player will be. When we're back, game 5 will be here. Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the SC2ITL Season 3. If you're enjoying the show, hit the follow button. See when we go live again with more SC2 Improved Team League action, as well as all of the other events we're streaming. This week we're streaming DreamHack Stockholm. At the end of the week, we're going to be starting the SC2 Improved Summer League playoffs. So a lot of exciting stuff coming your way in the near future, guys. So make sure to hit the follow button and see when we go live so you don't miss a single bit of it. We'll be back in a few moments with game 5 of this best of 7. And Kane will look to take a third map in a row to take mYinsanity into the lead and onto match point for the first time in this series. What are you all doing? And again, it's mYinsanity versus New Era Gaming as our first of 2 series here tonight. In about an hour and 20 minutes time, APSC2 E-Star take to the stage to take on Red Bloods, 2 teams who are currently 2-0 in Group B of the competition. Right now we're going into game number 5 of our current match, mYinsanity versus New Era Gaming. And we're going to introduce our players. In the upper left hand corner, the pink Zerg player from mYinsanity. Opening up with a hatch first against his Terran opponent. It's Kane. No real surprises here at all, as Kane, once he's come out, he's just started to destroy his opponent here. And so destroy the opponent team. 2 wins in a row. And looking for a third as he takes on Coyote, the yellow Terran player in the upper right hand corner representing New Era Gaming. So let's see what these guys are going to get up to. We've already had an SCV actually coming out and scouting the initial location of his opponent. Command Center first opening for our Terran player. Definitely a possibility here on Nimbus. Not too much of a surprise to see that. You know, while Reaper expands can definitely still work, while, you know, pretty much anything works on Nimbus, there's no reason not to go Command Center first. You can put it on the, you know, you can put it in position, no risk at all. Wall off very early on. You know, you don't see early pools really anymore from Zerg players against Terran. We did for a while, but CCC first is a rarity, enough of a rarity that you just don't see that much, and you don't have to worry about walling off early on because you've got, you know, you've walled off. Look at this, first supply depot, first barracks, walled off, and you're sorted for the majority of this game until you want to move out onto your third base. So nice and safe here, Coyote, as he opens up in this game against Kane, who, I mean, he's opened up hatchery for gas here. So hatchery into pool into gas, and Kane just going to start mining this and heading towards Zerg speed, I would imagine. Of course, he hasn't actually been able to scout his opponent just yet. Oh no, sorry, he has. He's gone overload over here. So I would imagine if he saw the he saw the barracks timing, so he knows the timing of the barracks, and with the timing of the barracks, he knows what's up. He knows what the deal is. So So yeah, he knows the time of the barracks, he knows the command center first he's playing against. He'll continue to mine gas here, so looking as though he will still commit towards speed. And was intrigued to see what exactly he does with it. Maybe he tries to go for something a bit more aggressive, because he continues to mine gas, whether it's being a little bit haphazard that he's just gone over 100 gas, or whether he means to. I mean, at this point he definitely means, well, he actually pulls workers away here, so he gets 24, now he pulls out. It was for a moment I was starting to believe he may be going for some kind of crazy little bust, but no, not the case, as Kane runs up this ramp, and the Marine just out of range for now, and he gets a few hits, a few bites onto this supply depot here. Factory on the way, reactor on the way, and it's just going to be that standard reactor Hellion follow up here for artillery player, which we see in pretty much every single TVZ. Depot raised, and command center on the way as well. A couple of Lingers thinking of going up that ramp, but decide not to, and you know, SCV gets back in here. So all in all, no real worries at the start of this game, and we're just going into a nice standard opening for both players, really. A third base even being established here for Kane very early on. I mean, no reason not to. Third base is very likely to come out of the time player very quickly. I guess he doesn't know that just yet, that it's down for sure, but against the CC first, I mean, there's not really like a massive aggression that can come towards you to stop that third base. You know, anything which is going to hit you is going to be at the point where you can have that third base up and running, and you can have defenses out. It's just a matter of seeing it coming. So no reason not to take the third, so he will. Second speed finishes at the same time, starts to take another gas, and yeah, quiet. He moves across the map with his first couple of Hellions, just clearing around, checking his third base, just making sure there's nothing there, and we'll probably come up to the high ground here and just continue westwards across the map. He's going to want to be checking the third base of the Zerg player. He actually has already scattered that out, so he saw that with an SCV initially building. I would imagine, though, he would still want to, you know, get across the map here, as Kane does commit an overload into scout. He sees the third command center, and that's everything he wants to see, basically. I would imagine he still wants to check that third base. He wants to see, you know, are you actually droning here, or are you just using this as a macro hatchery for some kind of all-in? So that's definitely something he could want to, you know, find out. This command center coming up in the third command center, now moving into the orbital, and again, seeing that for Kane is a big relief, because now he knows, right, there's definitely nothing coming my way which is going to hurt me early on, because he's committing to an orbital command, a third orbital. He can't possibly be doing anything else. Double engineering bay down, so it's just a very heavy macro opening from our Terran, who adds on a couple of extra barracks as well. These Hellions going to start positioning themselves on the edge of the creep. A couple of queens here initially. I don't actually think Kane has any units to really deal with this. He's got 5 queens, and ooh, he's going to maybe lose one of them. And there it is, and then Lynx come down the ramp at a bit of a bad time. Another queen coming forward here. The Hellion's just going to keep on dancing right now. There's a few more Lynx start up in production. 1-1 starts for our Zerg player, just +1 for Terran. He does have that second engineering base. Looks as though he's just misclicked that, or hasn't clicked that, or, you know, something. Just not starting that +1 armor just yet, which is a little bit of a mistake here at the current point of the game. They're on the way again for Kane, so both of these guys just continuing on, and look at this, a 4th base as well. I mean, no reason not to get that 4th base up and running. 3rd base is saturated. You know, the gas is what he wants there. He doesn't want to be like, oh, I need another 20 drones on minerals. No, he just needs the gas. You know, the more gas he can get, the more he can tech, the more, you know, the more bins he can make, the more meters he can make, the more upgrades he can invest into. So the sooner he gets that 4th base, the faster he gets that gas, the better things will be for him. And honestly, he's seen that fast 3rd command center. So again, he's just thinking to himself, well, what can you do to stop me being aggressive here? You know, there really isn't anything. He didn't see the engineering bays. But I mean, how often do you see a Terran player go up to 3 orbitals and not get their engineering bays at some point near after? You know, this time the Terran player did get it early, but you know, even usually if you get barracks before engineering bays, you still get the engineering base quite soon afterwards. So some smoke calls coming up here, so Kane going to invest in static defense to deal with any kind of drop play, as this 4th base getting set up as well. He's actually long distance mining minerals here already, as he's got his gas set up as well. And yeah, I mean, he's up on 83 drones, so he's just going to have a ton of economy, and from here on out, it's basically just a matter of making units, taking good fights, and not dying or taking too much damage to any harassment. So it's a very straightforward game for Kane from this point onwards. Oh, I say straightforward, but of course, then that list of things does involve a lot of different skills. It involves a lot of different, you know, little bits and pieces to really put together. So it's definitely not easy, but the general idea is fairly simple. As the Italians do begin to move across here, we'll start hitting these queens once again. Army on the way, so they can move into Hellbats very soon if they would like. They're going to come over here, they're going to spot the 4th base up and running. At the same time, double drop into the main, as this is what Kane is actually pulling his Lings and Banelings back to defend. Looks as though the sport colours in the spine did go down, but everything gets cleaned up. The medevacs do get away, but the rest of the drop is completely dealt with. I actually missed that coming in because I managed to pull my headphones out of their socket, so yeah, it's a little bit scary. Kane's going to commit onto these Hellbats, and you know, I don't really see right now. He's got enough to take these down without taking too many losses here. And so he will. 1-1's finished for him. Neither player starting up their 2-2 just yet. Another couple of dropships coming into this base and coming in just before this Spine and Spore finishes here. So Kane can take a little bit more damage once again. The Zergling's already streaming in. A lot of these units didn't drop out, so Koyo not really as strong as he could be with this little bit of group of army. He didn't lose the Spore in the end, so he keeps that static defense alive as Koyo really starting to get into this free base production. Adding on another factory, adding on 3 more barracks. Getting set for basically the rest of the game here. That's 2-2 now on the way for both players. Kane has got his mutalisks out, so these drops are going to be a little bit more risky every time he goes for them now. He's going to have to make sure, you know, he can actually get out of there. He's distracting somewhere else while he goes for them, otherwise the mutants will just hunt down the medevacs in a matter of seconds. And, you know, then you're kind of starting to throw away supplies. So every drop now has to be for a reason. You know, it has to be to pull the Zerg back. It has to be to distract him while moving towards the 4th base. You know, now would be a great time for a drop because the army's moving down here. And it has to move down here to defend. The mutants are here, the Banes are here, the Zerglings are here. It has to be here, but, you know, at this point in time, there's nothing to try and come up here and punish the fact that the rest of the army is all down and focused on this 4th base. So now would be a good time for a drop, but we're not going to see it just yet, as we do look as though Kane will just come forward here and he will just go for this fight, and, well, the medevacs lift up, and the mutants will just continue to give chase. Where the medevacs going to look to get to before dropping off, because now they're going to run out of boost and they're going to lose 1, 2 medevacs, one of them being full, a 3rd medevac which was very full as well. And that was a big, big loss, and Kane, a huge pickup here, taking down a what, like 20 plus supply. Now double drop heads towards the natural once again, but it's just a little bit too late. And look at this, Kane, the map awareness, he spots this, and already he's clicked up there. Ling's on the way, Baneling's on the way as well, and Muta's not actually coming up to help, but you know, they're probably going to be coming in from behind a bit later anyway, so they're probably in a good position nonetheless at in the middle of the map. A lot more Banelings continuing to come in right now. As Koyo just sitting here with this army. Kane maxed out, and you know, maybe he wants to try trading a little bit now. Double drop comes in towards his 4th base. I mean, you can see, you know, the way that Koyo is thinking as he drops into the 4th base. Now he comes into this natural, so he's attacking again in multiple places, and Kane is taking a fair amount of damage here. I mean, he's had to pull drones from 2 bases. He's going to lose all these spores, which he's going to have to reinvest into if he wants to, you know, continue using these. He has killed all the medevacs though that were used for these drops, so it's not been too bad for him. Killing off medevacs is always a good thing. And if you can kill off all of the units as well and stop them escape, I mean, that's just even better. It means the drop really cost the Terran player something, instead of just being able to be recycled and used again a couple of moments later and causing the Zerg player the same kind of issue. Kane, he's starting up in an infestation pit. He feels like this game's going pretty good for him. Now he's got the opportunity to go into that infestation pit. And there's, ooh, what's this? A couple of Marines just in the middle of the map here. More and more Banelings. This is so many Banelings, can I just say. What on earth? 31 more in production, and we're already on 78, and it's actually Kane who's just going to run straight in here. And we're going to see Koyo begin to split these Banelings. They just keep on coming. They take down the next expansion from his opponent. The Mutas are coming in to just, you know, basically clean things up because there's no anti-air anymore. The next wave of Banelings coming forward too, and Koyo may just be down and out for the count already if 4 comes forward. The Banelings go towards the mineral line, and kaboom, their SCPs don't last long at all. And pretty much everything just taken down here. The orbital command as well. So from 4 bases and all of a sudden down to 2. Koyo just did not quite have enough there to take on Kane. I feel as though he lost way too many units with the drops. He never really achieved anything with them, and because of that, he didn't really have what it took to take on Kane's army when it came towards him. And that mass of Banelings came in, and that was GG. 3-2 now for mYinsanity against New Era Gaming. Ace player from New Era Gaming will have to be a good one to take down Kane, and the next player from mYinsanity, whoever that may be. We'll be finding out who that Ace player is after a quick commercial break, guys. This is the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. Hope you're having fun. There's no image, you can't see anything. Try refreshing the page because the stream is definitely live. And I can see an image, and so can other people as well. So do check that out. I don't really know what else I can say about that. Guys, we'll be back here very soon. See if mYinsanity can close this out with a Kane all-kill. And whether New Era Gaming will force an ace match at game number 7 here in this best of 7. Between these two teams. Again, New Era Gaming, it looked so good for them at the start. They've had a really rough start of the season, and now here they are, and it's kind of like, oh. you know, they were doing so great, and then Kane comes out and they just haven't found a way past him, and it's really starting to hurt them. They lose today, and you know, it's tough times for them because they dropped to 0-3 in the group. And once they're 0-3 in the group, how do you get back from that? I mean, 0-3 is kind of getting to the point where you lose one more match, maybe two more matches. One more match, you know, 0-3 is like one more match lost, and you're probably not making the playoffs. So if you are, you're getting there on map score alone. So New ErA Gaming are really having a tough time at the start here of this league, and well, I mean, at least, I mean, it doesn't even get easier for them. They've got ESC, they've got Carnage and Alternate in the next 3 weeks. It just doesn't get easier for them at all. They've got Vega Squadron, last season's runners-up, to play in the future weeks as well. In the lower left-hand corner, their ace player right now has to win 2 in a row to bring it home. It's Risk. In the upper right hand corner is the pink Zerg player from mYinsanity. We know who he is. This is his 4th game in a row here. Looking for his all kill. It's Kane. Hatchery first into pool against his Protoss opponent. First time we're going to see a ZVP today. Very quick shout out as well to JD2128 who's hit the follow button on Twitch. Thank you very much for the follow. I always say this, and I guess we may as well say it again because we've got nothing really else to talk about just now. Gateway expand, the gas being taken for Kane, very standard stuff, nothing too exciting happening at the start of this PvZ. Following the channel is the best way you can support SC2 Improve. You know, if you follow the channel, it means you're more likely to come back again in the future, and that's the most important thing. If you come back in the future, you can check out more of the matches, more of our content, and that's what SC2 Improve is all about. It's giving these teams the opportunity to play in front of people, and yeah, if you come back and you watch again and you don't have ad block on, then you can fund. Then you're essentially funding the tournaments as well, because all the ad revenue goes towards the tournaments. And yeah, if you are looking for a more direct way to support, there's the subscription option available on the channel. You get some emote, you get replay packs at the end of each month, and you know, some other stuff as well. There's just a straight up donation option as well, and all donations go towards the donation goals and incentives campaign, which is basically our next donation incentive is about 99 euros away, and it will be a an invitational for a bunch of the like an ace player invitational for the top teams of the first season of SC2ITL. Fairly aggressive Protoss play here from Risk as he moves across the map, and with his Zealot and Stalker he was just trying to put on a little bit of aggression, but Kane was well prepared for it. He hasn't really taken any losses here. You know, he loses some lings, but you know, it's better to lose his lings than to lose a queen. It's better to lose the queen than drones. So, you know, basically he did what he needed to do to block this attack. So, where is Risk from? That's a really good question. I don't actually know. New ErA Gaming of kind of a very kind of Eastern Europe-based team, so it wouldn't surprise me if he was from kind of Russia or Ukraine or somewhere along those lines. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to actually very quickly Wikipedia that, because I feel as though it's one of them things I should know, but I do not. So let me see New ErA Gaming, as we've got Twilight Council and a couple of gateways being added on here. Risk is not on, is not actually on their Wikipedia roster, so can't really tell you. Oh well, sorry guys. France says Chiara Mitaro, so a French player then. Not surprised. I mean, of course, just because you're a Eastern European based team, it doesn't mean you have to only have Eastern Europeans. There's Genji Takia. Is it Genji Takia? His kind of previous name, but now he goes as by Risk. Because he's written down here. He's a Protoss player from France, so maybe it isn't. Anyways, let's give you guys some game sounds. Zergling's nibbling away at these rocks right now. Kane's actually getting very aggressive here. He's cut drones at 23 workers. He's made a Rotron, he's making roaches and lings, and he's moving across the map as though he wants to end this game very, very soon. He's going to come up this ramp, and I don't know what exactly he's going to try and do. Now, Blink is on the way. Warp Gate has just finished, so Warp Gates are going to start coming in here. Force Field goes down very quickly. I guess he wants to go for this pylon over to the left to try and open up a little bit of space. He's going to take down both of these pylons. The Stalker warped in. I think that may have been a mistake. I think Sentry is what he really needs right now. Another Force Field comes down, but more Lings and more Roaches will keep on coming forward here. There's the last Force Field. So there's only a limited time now. The pylons are gone down, so actually both of these gateways are unpowered, and only a single gateway in production tab right now for Risk, and this actually might be a very quick end to this game as Kane is coming forward here. A couple of pylons being made because Risk is just so supply blocked, he can't make anything even if he does have gateways. So this is really, really bad for him. He's going to start losing probes. Kane's just taking down units and pylons and workers, and, well, maybe I talked a little bit too much about things other than this game at the start of this, because all of a sudden, you know, Lings and Roaches are over here and GG's called and Kane's just won the game. But Kane, he just takes the risk. He risks it. He says, right, you know what? I'm just going to cut units, cut drones. I'm going to risk going for an aggressive attack and see if it happens. And his risk paid off, and he took down Risk Griffith. So yeah. Make the sponsors make commercials for you to play, not using the Twitch interface. Well, we don't have any sponsors, so we don't have any commercials to run. Which kind of sucks. So yeah, GG's, mYinsanity take the victory 4 games to 2. After a risky start, Kane comes back and, well, he tied his fingers up and he takes the victory for his team and puts his team at a 4-2 victory. We have a whole hour, well, 55 minutes until SC2ITL versus Redbloods. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to leave the stream running, so if you're interested in watching the next series, just leave the stream on. Well, you can just come back in 55 minutes, but you can just leave the stream on as well. We'll just run, should we just run some music? Yeah, why not? I'm going to go and continue unpacking, because, again, it's been a busy couple of days, and my room is still an absolutely huge mess, as you can probably see behind me. So, yeah, we're going to go and take 55 minutes. When we come back, SC2 versus SC2ITL versus Redbloods for our second series of the night, guys. I'll put the information up on the screen so you guys know what's coming up. And, yeah, congratulations to mYinsanity. A 4-2 victory here today, and commiserations to New ErA Gaming. It's just not been the start they wanted. Guys, see you soon for our next series. Have a good little while watching WCS in the meantime.